dance for joy or lust or anger.
Welcome to not very sensible second-hand reviews, the show where we should be looking at practical and sensible cars that you can buy between a budget of £1,000 and £5,000, but sometimes we look at something highly unsuitable, like this 2009 Renault Laguna Coupé 2-litre turbo GT. But is it any good? Should you care? Let's find out, shall we? So the Mark III Laguna was launched in this country around 2008. Along with this coupe version, you could get the hatch and the estate as well. I think it's called the Sports Tourer. But the coupe is the one that you want if you like the ultimate Renault Laguna Mark III experience. This car was only imported from 2008 to 2012. In fact, in February 2012, Renault decided that they didn't want to sell the Espace, the Wind, the Modus, the Kangoo and the Laguna in this country at all. They didn't think that it justified the sales to continue importing them. So this car had quite a short model life, and nevertheless it had quite a number of engines with it. There are only two really that we can talk about on this channel. The one that's in this car is a 2-litre F-type engine. It's one of the most powerful F-types ever produced, a very long-lived engine indeed actually with that, from about 1982 to I think sort of mid-2010s or something. But this does 205 horsepower and has a 6-speed manual gearbox. The other one that we can talk about is the one that I think a lot of people would like to have. It's the 3.5 V6 with 240 horsepower. It was only available with an automatic gearbox. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. I don't really see why you'd want to have a diesel engined GT coupe like this anyway. It's all about the sort of style and sort of luxury and sort of wafting along and things like that. You want either this quite sporty 4-cylinder turbo, or you want a nice creamy V6. This car does 0 to 60 in 7.8 seconds. It feels really quite quick. The 3.5 V6 would be even better than that. You'd have more torque, but then some people like having a manual in a sporty car like this, and this is what you get. It does feel quite a heavy car. It's not light by any means. There's a lot of safety equipment in this car, for example. Well, on boost. Yep. 0 to 60 in 7.8 seconds, I can very much believe it, at a top speed of over 140 miles per hour, where the law allows. So yes, most agreeable so far, viewers. Most agreeable indeed. So viewers, you might notice I've kept the engine running. I've had the keys firmly in here because we know what Renault Lagunas are like with the keys and being able to lock them inside the car when you don't want to. But yes, this is a very, very elegant looking car. A lot of people kind of say it looks a bit like an Aston Martin. I don't think Renault at the time would have been at all disagreeable to that notion, but it looks a bit like, I don't know, DB9, something like that. Or you might say that it doesn't, it just looks like a sort of slightly weird third generation Laguna. You could say that as well. I quite love the look of it personally. I think that the prices that these actually command at the moment, this is a very, very good way into some cheap luxury motoring. And we'll have a look at the boot space. Got some parking sensors on here and twin exhausts. If you had a V6, it would be even better, possibly, this sort. So open up this boot. There we go. Ooh. I think it's about 400 litres in here. It's quite practical because it's based on the same platform as the standard Laguna hatchback and the estate. You've got loads of room for a coupe in here. Reminds me in that way of something like a Volvo C70, Mark 1 in particular, because that was based on the same platform as an 850. You can put the seats down as well. You can fold them with those little levers in here. Lift up the carpet at the boot, and do we have actually any form of space, say a wheel or something? No, we've got a tyre inflation kit. I would like a spare wheel though. I think most of you watching this probably would agree with me about that as well. Never mind. This one's had a little bit of paint on the back of it. Not that you can see it particularly on camera, but you know, it doesn't matter, does it? It's only done 70,000 miles, this car, actually. So if we open up the doors, put the key somewhere nice and safe. Frameless doors. Would you like a bit of luxury on this channel, viewers? Especially cheap luxury. That is agreeable. So yeah, the car is awaiting a bit of preparation. It needs headlamps doing and just some bits of interior cleaning and things. But this model has just got the manual seats. You could get electric seats, of course, particularly with the V6. You probably got those. So see how bad it is to get in. Oh gosh. That's not good, viewers. Oh, it's not good either when you actually get in here. Oh my gosh, the headroom's really tight. Help. Just as well that I've got the door open, isn't it? So yeah, as I said, it needs bits of sort of interior cleaning and things as well. This review's come about at very short notice, and there's not been time to clean all the cars for me to drive them today. But you know, I hope you'll forgive that. So just 4 seats, but that's probably normal. Do we have a massive armrest in here? Oh yes, we do. And some tasty cup holders and air vents, a 12-volt socket and an ashtray and map pockets and all sorts of things. Yeah, you have to sort of crouch forward to sort of sit in here if you're any sort of height at all. I'm not particularly tall. I'm only about 5'11", but yeah, it is a bit cramped in here. Do I even want to pull that seat back? I suppose I'm going to have to. So put it there, it's okay. I suppose you can slouch forward a bit, but let's get out of here. I feel like some of the Volvos that I've been in today, because I've been doing quite a few cars actually at LSB car sales, in fact in Berkshire. The door pockets aren't very big. Not very big at all for some reason. I'm not quite sure why that is. Oh yes, and the good old steering wheel controls that first came into Renaults in the 1980s are here. So the air conditioning going, it's dual zone climate control in here. We've got all the controls quite easy to hand. It's a similar dashboard to the normal Mark III Laguna, but it's obviously one or two sort of bits of a different. I don't know what that is there. It's not a cup holder because you've got one here, and that's not a bad one. It's quite nice as well. I think they've really tried with these cars to make the interior quality better and try to make things that didn't feel like they were going to fall apart at any given time, because the Laguna 2, which I have tested with one of the, I think Sports Tourer was the estate one of those, yeah, wow, they have some quality issues, don't they, and electronic issues. I've got some interesting aux input there, like stereo aux input with those white and red connectors there. 12-volt socket, somebody's door key or something. I'm not going to turn the car off at the moment because I don't think the battery's charged enough for me to do that. We will go for a little drive before we actually turn that off so I don't get stranded. Soft touch dash, of course, which is very nice. Power everything, automatic lights, automatic wipers, lots of luxury, electronic handbrake, which I hate, cruise control switch like so many Renaults of this period, down on the floor, or sort of center console here, not really the floor because it's quite raised up, isn't it? I'd like a sunglasses holder in here, but apart from that, it's a very, very comfortable car this. The drive position's really good. It's a very sort of GT sort of feeling type car. But yeah, it's just a bit like the Mark 1 C70 that I've owned. that sort of thing, and it's no bad thing at all. A lot of you will notice we've got a manual gearbox in here, and this is the only transmission option available for this 2-litre turbo engine. The V6 was actually an auto-only car. Let's have a look at the glove box, see if we can fit the secret mission documents in. I don't think we can. The fuse box is still on the left-hand side of the car. Viewers, that's no good, is it? So the manual has to sit in the door, which is terrible. Terrible on a car like this. Not impressed at all. Let's have a look at the engine, shall we? Amazingly, although this is a 2009 car, it's still got the old Renault F-type engine in it, which came in the 1980s and is actually related to the engine that was in my Volvo 460. This case is a 2-litre unit developing 205 horsepower in this application, so it's very, very powerful. I'm sure the pedals are going to be buffed, and that side light that's out is going to be replaced before this car actually is sold to a customer, by the way, viewers. As I said, I've come at very short notice to film the cars at LSB today. Big plastic cover over it this time though, unlike in something like, I don't know, the old Volvos and Renault Clio Williams and things like that, which also used this engine. Quite a lot of sort of shrouding over here, which is probably to do with the radiators and things like that, air conditioning radiator and standard radiator under there, batteries sort of covered up. But yeah, there we go. Timing belt, of course, on these, so just be aware of that if you're buying one of these. And yeah, I think I'm very tempted now to go for another drive. Lloyd Young Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. I must say I'm not disappointed at all having finally driven a Renault Laguna Coupé. It's been a long time since I first wanted to try one of these on the channel, and lots of people have said that they're really good, and they are. The steering doesn't quite have the sort of weight and precision that you want in a really sporty car, but it's more like a GT thing, and appropriately this is the GT model. And with the four-wheel steering that this car has, it's called a rear-wheel steering that was developed for this car. Like all this technology packed into a car that I sort of maybe even knew at the time wasn't going to sell particularly well. It's just amazing. At lower speeds, the rear wheels steer the opposite direction of the front wheels to give a better turning circle, and higher speeds they turn in the same direction to help with cornering, and that's absolutely brilliant. Only the GT models that got that. I don't think some of the others did. But all this technology, all this kind of luxury, things like that, available for not much money anymore is amazing. But just make sure everything works before you actually buy one of these, viewers. Let's now have a look at some Renault Laguna Coupé trim levels, viewers. So there was the standard one, which should just be badged as a, 3.5 V6. Then the GT, that has the 4-control chassis with rear-wheel steering. Like this car, this has rear-wheel steering, which is amazing. Then the GT line TomTom, the Dynamique TomTom, the Monaco GP, that was only available with engines we can't talk about for some reason, viewers, and the TomTom Edition. The boot's actually 423 litres, which is remarkably large for a car like this. So, viewers, should you consider the short-lived Renault Laguna Coupé with your hard-earned budget of between £1,000 and £5,000? Something like this car, it needs some preparation. This one, it needs a new windscreen. It needs probably just some cleaning. It needs headlamp bulbs replacing and headlamps cleaning and things like that. Something like this, maybe £3,000 to £3,500 when it's all finished and ready to go, which I don't think is bad value at all. It's only front-wheel drive and things like that, but big luxury coupes like this, even at the time this car was made, were just dying out of the market, particularly brands like Renault that didn't have that sort of premium image. It's mainly image really, rather than number of cars they sell, because Audi sometimes outsells Volkswagen in this country now, so it's all about image, and this car just didn't have the image. Have a design. The design, I think, is brilliant, particularly the facelifted cars that have a different sort of front end on them, and actually everything works in here. Air conditioning works, you know, these weird keys and things work, which is good. Obviously maybe they're not as bad as some people say in terms of reliability, but just, you know, watch for general maintenance, watch all the electronic bits work and things like that buying one of these. But overall, I'm very happy to have driven one of these. I've been after one of these cars for some years now, and it's nice to have finally had a go in one. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again soon for more not particularly sensible but reasonably priced motoring.